Apple is just weeks away from announcing their biggest upgrade to the iPad in over half a decade, the 2024 iPad Pro. Let's talk about it. First, the design. The iPad has had a very consistent design since 2018. That was the year we got the 2018 iPad Pro redesign. This was a design that was sort of inspired by the original iPad design with flat sides, but has many modern touches to it. This design was so good that Apple is still using it to this day, 5.5 years later. This year is supposed to be the first time that we see a new design since then. We don't know exactly what it'll look like, but we could make some theories. Maybe Apple goes for an iPhone 15 style design with some curve added to the flat edges, or maybe they go for a MacBook Air or MacBook Pro design with flat edges but with a curved back. We don't know exactly. We have heard that the iPhone's MagSafe could be coming to this iPad Pro as well. This could be for a rumored iPad smart home dock we've heard about, or something else entirely. If the iPad is getting the iPhone's MagSafe, then it has to have glass on the back. Older rumors for the 2022 iPad Pro said that Apple is going to use a glass Apple logo, which would be the same size as the Apple logo on the MacBook Pro. Again, this was rumored for the 2022 iPad Pro, but never materialized. But if this new iPad Pro is getting a redesign, then it may have it. In addition, this new iPad Pro is going to fix one of the biggest problems with the current iPad Pro, the position of the Face ID sensors. The Face ID sensors right now are positioned in the portrait orientation, so if you use the iPad in landscape, your palms may cover up the sensors. And using the front camera will also look weird. But in the iPadOS 17.4 beta, there are lines of text referring to Face ID being set up in landscape mode. So using the iPad in landscape mode will finally work properly with Face ID, and you'll no longer cover up the front camera accidentally. Next, the display. iPads have consistently had great displays. Recently with 120Hz ProMotion and Mini LED on the 12.9-inch iPad Pro. This year, Apple's going to ditch LCD and Mini LED on the iPad Pro in favor of OLED. This will be the first time that Apple moves to OLED on a device bigger than the iPhone. This means that the pixels will be individually lit instead of having a 10,000 Mini LED backlight, meaning it will finally eliminate the Mini LED blooming issues many users have had on the 12.9-inch iPad Pro. This will be a new type of OLED display that Apple has never used before, called a hybrid OLED. Basically, it uses the flexible nature of a flexible OLED display, the same used in the iPhones, but it has an ultra-thin glass substrate like rigid OLED displays. This will also allow for higher contrast, deeper blacks, and maybe even higher brightness. Maybe we may see the same 2000 nit outdoor brightness just like the iPhones. And this is coming to both sizes, even the 11-inch, which currently has an LCD display. Apple has said in the past that the reason the 11-inch iPad Pro doesn't have a mini LED display is because it'll add thickness to a device that is meant to be portable. Whether you agree or not, those problems will be fixed with the OLED display because the display panel is getting significantly thinner than the mini LED or even LCD displays, allowing for an even thinner design for the iPad Pro. And both sizes will be getting slightly bigger display panels, going from 11-inch and 12.9-inch to 11.1-inch and 13-inch, presumably allowing for slimmer bezels. This display may very well be the biggest display upgrade for the iPad in its history, especially if we're coming from an 11-inch model. Next, performance. The iPad Pro is already pretty powerful, but this year the iPad Pro is getting even more powerful with the M3 chip. M3 will allow for about 20% faster CPU and 20% faster GPU performance compared to the current M2 iPad Pro. The biggest upgrade is the GPU itself. The GPU is getting the same dynamic caching, mesh shading, and ray tracing that the MacBook Pro, iMac, and iPhone 15 Pro all got. So this will allow for some new possibilities for gaming on the iPad, and maybe even 3D rendering on the iPad. Now the accessories. The new iPad Pro will also be released alongside a new Magic Keyboard, made out of aluminum, and will have a bigger trackpad. And there will be a new Apple Pencil 3 with magnetic tips coming as well. It may also have the new USB-C port from the USB-C Apple Pencil as well. Now the price. In my last video, I mentioned the rumors of a $1,500 starting price, but I did mention that there's a very likely chance that those rumors were wrong, and I was right. There are new rumors suggesting a $999 starting price for the 11.1 inch and $1199 for the 13 inch, much more reasonable than the previous rumors. There's also a chance that the 256 gig storage option will be the base storage now, just like how it is the base storage on the iPhone 15 Pro Max. For release, these new iPad Pros are expected to be announced next month at a March event. I talked more about what else is coming at that event in this video, including a new M3 MacBook Air and M2 iPad Air. While the iPad Pro will be announced at that event, it may not be released until April, since the display panels just hit production last month. So that's what we know so far about the 2024 iPad Pro. With a new design, new display, new chip, and new accessories, the new iPad Pro is looking to be a massive upgrade in terms of hardware. We'll see about software later, but for hardware-wise, this is looking pretty exciting. What are you most looking forward to about the new iPad Pro?